don't drink coffee, and so I had a cup of coffee this morning and extremely jittery, and so my thoughts are probably going to be fragmented in just a couple months. So I think one of the biggest things, my name is Ikraan. My brother is Abdurahmān. He is involved in a case amongst several other young men his age in Minnesota. He was sentenced to 10 years. But I think it's really important amidst all of these things to like really look at like the reason why these things happen, right? Like it's not, although I'm not like saying that mental illness isn't a factor for some of these cases, and that's very much valid. I don't think that's the case for my brother and his friends. I think a lot of it has to do with identity, right? And I think, so obviously like identity is like a ever fluctuating thing. It's like a journey that like we all go on, and we attempt to like figure ourselves out, right? Like, and it's never a stagnant thing that we ever have a grasp on. But like my brother and I think a lot of children of immigrants who are born and raised in America have like dual identities and are intersectional in so many ways and don't really like ever like feel at home anywhere, right? Like one of my favorite poets, she says, so here you are, too foreign for home and too foreign for here, and never enough for both. And I think like that really like describes a lot of my experience, and a lot of I like to think my brother's experience and his friends is that they just wanted an identity that didn't necessarily like attach to a specific nationality, right? Because they didn't fit in as fully American, right? Like there's times where my brother and his friends would go to like the local Denny's or McDonald's or IHOP, and they would like be wearing the traditional khamis or the thobe or whatever after Jummah, and they'd just be fooling around like any other Americans do, young boys do, and they would be called out and harassed and told go back to your country and like and spat at, and it's kind of like these experiences like make you question, well, like I was born and raised here, but I'm clearly not enough, right? And then you go back home, and obviously there's like language barriers and things of that sort, and so you don't really feel fully at home there. So I think for my brother and his friends, like religion was really the where they actually felt as though, like despite nationality, despite like age differences, this is kind of where unity really belongs, right? And so I think that also justifies the reason why like they were involved with their MSAs. Some of them were the presidents, and they were involved in like Muslim nonprofit organizations and things of that sort. And it also meant that those were the reasons why they were having conversations revolving, with things that were happening to Palestinians and Assad's regime, and like, Syrians that were being killed and like prosecuted merely because of, their faith, and these reasons. And so, essentially, the case really goes. These young men like would hang out. They would do anything that any other young American boys do, and they one of their friends was coerced by the FBI to become an informant, and as they're having these conversations that ideally would be protected by the First Amendment, and is their constitutional right to be able to speak freely and not be surveilled or incriminated because of their thoughts. They didn't know that they had an informant amongst them who, masked himself as their friend. And so I think after a very long time of doing this, they use that evidence to then basically put them behind bars where they are now. And I think for the first time that really like woke me up to like how many other homes and how many other families are like broken because of these sort of plights. And I think we're all like sheltered in some ways and live and lead individualistic lives and don't really like think about what our husbands are going through. And well, anyway, it was a really long trial. It was lasted maybe I would say 2.5 years or some. And they, again, were stripped of their constitutional right to be able to go to trial and things of that sort, because they were told you either take a plea deal or be looking at an additional charge that was conspiracy to commit murder abroad when they never even left, American soil. And that carried a charge of 60 to life. So it's kind of like, do you jeopardize then, a potential to be able to be free after a certain number of years, or take your, I guess, your right to be able to go to trial and be convicted by a jury of your peers, which then also is something else that we look at. Are the jury actually, and a representation of their peers?